Hello everyone, good day. I want in this video, in this tutorial, I'll be showing you teaching you the basics of FastAPI. So like this tutorial series is actually to teach you FastAPI, SQL model, and like to show you how you are going to use it scale um in a large scale production scenario. So I hope you'll be able to move along with it. So the requirement to continue with this tutorial is for you to know Python, at least know the basics of Python at least. It will be of help if you understand how the web works and how stuff works also. So without further ado, let us get started. So first things first, what is Fast API? Fast API is a Python web framework used to create Fast API. We have so many Python web framework, Django, Flask, Bot2, and others. Fast API is dedicated to create API. It is asynchronous. It's really fast and it is modern. It's one of the fastest framework web framework that Python has, if not the fastest. I'm not sure about that though. So that's that for Fast API. So we also be learning in this series of tutorial. We also be learning SQL model. SQL model is basically like Django RM to Fast API. You could also use SQL Alchemy, but I would rather use SQL model because it fits in. We also use Alembic that for migration and stuff like that. And I also be showing you how we are going to use Fast API, SQL model, and Alembic in a production environment. How you actually write a production code. So let us get started. So to get started with this tutorial, you should first you should first open your terminal to the root folder. I personally arrange my code like this. So I'll create a code folder in case I have code like this. But I do have the folder there already, so I'm going to seed into it. So I'll seed into code. So I have a folder for tutorial, and I'm going to seed into Fast API tutorial. Okay, all right. So inside of that, that's where we have this one. So in it, I'll be creating I'll be creating a virtual environment. So basically, Python virtual environment helps you to isolate a particular your packages for a particular project. So it basically helps you to isolate your project from each other. Let's take for example, we are working in 2018 with Fast API. They had a previous version then. You want to start a new work in 2020. If you don't have a virtual environment, you have to upgrade the fast API version of your system, which could make the one you created, the project you created in 2018, not work again. But with the virtual environment, you can have fast API installed on the virtual env for 2018 and another one installed for the virtual env that you are using currently. So they are separated from each other with separate versions, of course. So to create this Python 3.6 upward, Python 3.6 or Python 3.7 upward, it comes with a built-in way to create virtual environment. So you just type in Python minus m vmv then vmv like this. So oh sorry, Python 3 as I'm using Linux here. So yeah, then let's say you see we have created it. So we have created the VMV here. So to activate it, if you're on Windows, you do something like VMV slash scripts like this, then slash activate like this. But if you're on Mac or on Linux, you have to do source vmv slash bin slash activate like this. So you notice this is now here. This means your virtual environment is activated. So inside this virtual environment, you can install whatever you want to install. So let us try to run pip freeze here first, so you can see that there's nothing installed. See, there's nothing installed. Let me deactivate it. Then let me run pip freeze. So you see that I have something installed on my global Python environment. So you see I have things installed. So you see several stuff I have here. But once I activate it, all those stuffs aren't there anymore. So now let me install fast API. So I'll do pip install fast API like this, and UVCon also. So basically, fast API is the framework you'll be using, while UVCon is an asynchronous server that we are going to use to run fast API. Unlike Django and Flask, fast API doesn't come with a built-in server. So this shouldn't take that much time to install. As it's installing, I'll come here. I've opened this folder in my VS Code here. So I'm going to come here and I'll create a new file, call this file main.py. You can call the file anything, but I would rather call mine main.py. So yep, let me choose my bash environment. Alright, so yep, I have I have all that. Sorry for the cough. So let us start working towards creating our first fast API app like this. So to create our first fast API app, I'm sorry about this, sorry. So we have to import fast API first for sure. So from fast API, we are going to import fast API. Notice that the name of the module start is all lowercase, while here we are using a camel, we are using a Pascal case, we are using Pascal case for the importing for the class we are importing. So now we are going to instantiate that by saying app equals fast API like that, and then we are going to create a sample route, like a root route, to test if everything works. So we do at app.get, then that is the method we want to use. Then inside here is the rule you want to use, which is going to be slash. Then you are going to create we are going to create a simple function to do that. So I'll name this read root like this, and then I'm going to return hello world like that. Notice I'm just returning a dictionary here. Then Python FastAPI will help us to convert everything to JSON, as it will do, as it does that for us normally. So here let us run this. Remember I installed UVCon, so you use UVCon to run it. The name of the file, which is main here. If you add this one as app, you're going to use app here. And then the name of what you instantiated it as. If you are doing something like my awesome app here, you use my awesome app when you're calling it here, but we use app here definitely. So we are going to say app like this, and we add reload here because we are developing. We want it to help us automatically reload whenever we make any changes to any of our files here. So let us run this, and yep, it is running on port 8000. Let's go port 8000. Here we have hello world, as you have seen here. Let me zoom in so you can see properly. So we have hello world here. So fast API also comes with built-in documentation. It comes with two actually. It comes with the Saga. So if you with Swagger, so once you go to slash docs, you see the Swagger one. Then once you go to slash redoc, that's REDOC redoc, then you see the redoc documentation. But most of the time you'll be using the Swagger documentation actually. So you come slash doc. So here you can test it out. You can just press try it out and you press execute. In this place, you see your response body, you see your response headers, you see the status code that it responded with, successful response, and media type it responded with. So that's that for that now. So we have written our our first we have written our first sample application here. So I think we have this one done and this one done also. Then we are going to discuss about path parameters. So sometimes you see some okay, let me discuss about routing first. So we can create several routes with the fast API. We can just create at app.get like this. So we can go to slash, we can create slash home. You understand right now, we can go to slash post or slash whatever I want to go to. So we are going to go to slash items here first. And then I'm going to say def like this, get items, then return So yep, I'll just return a list of items like that. Let me come here to reload. I say here you see items like this, get items and try it out, and here you are going to execute. So you see we have item full and we have item bar like that. That's for items like that. We also have post. We can also make post requests. So to make post requests, then we do at app.post instead of get. To do delete, we make at app.delete. To do patch, we make at app.patch. I feel you understand REST frameworks, how REST framework works already. But if you don't yet, I'm coming. Sorry, what am I doing? So get is used for retrieving data. Get method is used for retrieving data. We have post for creating data. We have put for updating data. We have delete for deleting data. We also have patch. We also have patch for partially updating a data. Most of the time we use put. We use put for updating data. So that is that for REST framework. So when you want to get data, so in this place you are getting all items, we use this thing. If you want to create a new item, we use at app.post, and if you want to update an item, use at app.put. If you want to use delete an item, use at app.delete like that. So you understand. And that's that for that. So now we have gotten list of items. Let us say for instance, you want to get one particular item now. Let us say okay, let me just create a dictionary of items here that we use instead. Items equals to a list of dictionaries like this. Okay, so we have name to be full. So let me just do something like instead of making it as a list, let me do something like so here we are going to have ID like this. ID like this is going to be one like this, and then we have name and we have price of our item. So we have several ones like this. So if you are curious about the auto completion I'm using GitHub Copilot, which is helping me to automatically generate these stuff. So yep, I think that let me just change this name, switch this name up to something like milk or something else. So when I want to get all of it, we will just return items. I think, yep, return items like this. So yeah, let us come here, let us reload, and then let us try it out. Let me try it out and execute. So you see, we have all this here now, and that's that for that. Let's say you want to get a single item, you want to get a particular item, you are going to use app.get slash items, then the parameter ID. So here we want to this item ID, we don't want to specify it particularly. It could be one, it could be two, it could be three, it could be anything. So that's why we have that there. That's why we have it in curly braces. So you basically just do it like what the fuck? Sorry about the foul language. So you're going to do it like this, and item ID and everything is up like this. So now here we are going to create a function like this def read item like this. So here we are going to receive the item ID as a parameter like this, and we are going to check. We are going to return the item with that particular item ID. So return items and item ID like this. Let's reload this one. So let's come here. You see here now it's telling us to pass in an item ID. Let's try it out and let's pass in one here now. We should receive item ID of one and stuff like that. So let us come to this place here. You can see test it out from here. Item slash one. You see we get item of one like that. If we come here to get audio items, we get view items. Let's try to get the second one. Pass item slash two like this. So the problem with this now is that let us come here and let's pass in the letter. So here you see it's showing us an error because of we passed in a string instead of a number, which all ID should okay, yeah, they are strings actually. Let us see they were numbers here like this, not string. Let's say they were integers or so, and they weren't strings like this. So we don't want to be able to receive strings here. We want to be able to like validate that whatever we are retrieving, we want to make it should be an integer. So here we are going to use type int in Python. So basically type int is basically like just adding the colon and then the type you want to receive, which is integer. So That is that what you are doing here is basically telling fast API or Python that all right, this item ID will be and must be a type of integer. So let's say we come here and we try to reload this now. You see, it gives us a very detailed error. So detail log value is not a valid integer like this. Let's give it a valid integer. It all works properly now and everything. So we have added, so we are able to validate this data here now. So that's that for that. So all right. So let us try creating a data now. So you remember what I said about posting data. So we're going to use about creating data. We said we are not going to use get, but we are going to use post for data instead. So we are just going to do that to slash items as usual. We are going to create an item like this. So we are going to receive a dictionary. So you see, item is going to be a type of dictionary in this place. You understand? So all right. Before we go through this, let me first discuss query parameters also. Let's say you want to be able to search through this item by the name here. You could use like a query parameter here, whereas the stuff is going to be something like slash items, not here actually, but here. Here we're going to use slash items, then slash here like this, and we're going to use this, and we're going to say something like q equals then whatever query you want to give it. Let's say you want to search by the name, by full, you can search by it and stuff like that. Let's say you want to say something like minimum price instead of this, something like minimum price is 26 and maximum price like that. So it will not make sense to make this as a separate as adding a path parameter. So we have to create a path parameter for minimum price and a path parameter for maximum price and a path parameter for when we want to pass both things, which doesn't make sense. That would be better as a query parameter. So as a query parameter, you don't need to come here to add anything like this here. No, it's not compulsory. You just come here and you create them directly. So you should do something like minimum price equals to float like this, maximum price like this. So let me just type this in. So auto complete completing it for me. So we have minimum price like this, colon, and then the type of the minimum this thing which we want it to be float like this, and then it should equals to zero. That is, it should default to zero like that. So yeah, maximum price like this, then float, and it should default to 100. So you want to return result equals to item for item. So this is basically list compression. I hope you understand this. So we are basically saying we want to return item for item in items of value if minimum price is less than or equals to item price, and well item price is less than or equals to maximum price, and then we are going to return results instead of items like this. So let us come here, let us reload this. So now let us try to set the minimum price to be 50 or to be 20 instead, like minimum price like this was to 20. You see we have 50, 20, 20, but in this place we have 10. We are not getting 10 like that. That's because of we have removed it from here and stuff like that. So that is that for that one. So we could also do maximum price. Let's say we want the maximum price to be 20 instead. You see we have 10, 20, 20. We don't have 50. That's that for that. That's that for query parameter here now. So sometimes you might want some things to be optional. Let's say let's say for instance you wanted this item ID to be optional. You can just make something like you can just add this here optional like this. So instead of this thing, it should be an optional integer. So I'm coming, sorry. Let me import optional first. So you are going to import optional from typing. It has done that automatically for me. So read item like this, then we're going to make it optional integer like this. Means that is equals to none like this. So at this point now, let's try to run this here. Sorry. This is optional, but instead of equals making it none, it's going to be one at default. Let's come to slash items, but I'm not sure this will work. Let me just add slash get here to make this work. If you come to slash item slash get like this without passing in anything, it tells you not found. All right. Okay, so item ID must be passed because of it's a path parameter. Path parameters cannot be optional, but query parameters can be. That's that. So path parameters cannot be optional, but query parameters can be. Let us say you wanted to search by this thing. So we can just add another query parameter like this of search, which is a string of none like this, which are going to make optional at first. Optional str rather. So it's going to be optional. So if we not pass it, it's not going to be listening. So let us try to print search whenever we come here. Let us come to this particular one like this. So you see search is equals to none in this place. Let us come here, let us add search is equals to shazy like this. See it prints search. So at first it defaults to none, making not compulsory and this thing. But in this particular place now, let us remove the default for maximum price like this. And come back here. And then remove the default for minimum price like this. And then Control R. It's telling you field required minimum price because we don't have any default for it. So let me just add the default back like this. And here now let us redo the search results here. So we say if search like this, so you're able to return item for item in results. If search in item name like that. So I hope you understand this particular place like this. Let's say we passed in search in this particular place. If we reload this, we will not get anything because of this one feels like this. But if we don't pass it at all, then we will get everything like this. So let us try to get the one with only F in the name like this. So let me paste this here and try to add just F. So I want to get the one with only F in the name. Oh, sorry, what just happened? Oh, yeah, it has to be capital like that. Now, item dot name, and item name dot lower will make more sense. Yep, dot lower like this. Search dot lower like this. So yep, let me come here and type in F like this. Alright, this works. Let me type it. Let me get the one with B. Yep, I'm searching by B here. Let me try to search by M here. So that is that for path and query parameters with here. So I think I'm done with this, and then I'm done with this. So yep, let me discuss about request body now. So request body. So when you want to create a new a new sorry, let me come back to this place and reload. Let me just show you that everything we had done as reflected in documentation. So you see minimum price default value 0, default 100. So you see search string, which is query here, which is not compulsory. So you see that that is there. So now let us say we wanted to create a new listing. We have to tell them, okay, all right, we want to receive items in this format. You understand? So to do that here, we are going to create a schema. So to create a schema, we are going to import from base model from Pandantic. So we do from Pydantic, but base model like that. Then we are going to create a class of item with some class item that inherit from base model, and here we are just going to say a name like this, and the price of the item like this, which is going to be float instead of this thing. So here let us add dot 00 instead, and dot 00 and here dot 00 like this. So now whenever I want to create a new project, this is the form a new item, this is the format we want to receive we want to receive like that. So here to do that, we're just going to say at app dot post like this. That app dot post slash item is to create item. So def create item now. So we're going to say instead of saying our type of item here should be a string. Is if we add this string now, it's going to be a query parameter instead. But now that we're saying that it should be a type of a schema, it makes it a request body and not a query parameter instead like that. So here we're going to say items, then len items plus one. So like this, we are going to first generate the ID, we are going to say is equals to item like that. I hope you understand. Then we are going to return the item. Just come here, just reload. So you see we have post here with a green marker here. You see we have the schema here. Name is string and price is something like this. You can also add examples to your schema. So to give it a default example like this. So class I think yeah config example like this. So you see class config schema extra equals this and the example here. Let's reload here now. So you should see an example full as I've set here, then price should be 50 as I've set in this place here. So if let me change it from full, let me change it to jollof so you can see that everything works properly. Jollof rice, Nigerian thing. But anyway, like anyhow. So jollof rice here now. So you see we have a type here. We have our example here. So let's try it out. Let's try to create this. By the way, you can change things out. It's not compulsory. It is the example you put there you use. You can add fried rice like this to be an item also. So you can execute this here now. And we have fried rice here. So let us come here now and let's try to read, not here, read our items. Let's try it out now. Search. So if we have an internal sub arrow, item object is not subscriptable. Where is it at? Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to convert this to a dictionary before saving it. Problem is I'm saving a class which I'm saving a class instead of saving a dictionary, which I shouldn't do. So here, let me try to execute this now. Everything runs properly. Let me add a new item here. Let me just add that jollof rice or that fried rice. Let me execute this. So you see it has been added here like this. Let me come here and let me come here to read all items. Yeah, so here you see fried rice is part of it. So that's that for that. So we can also just try to implement the the put route. So you want to do at app dot put. Put is to update, if you remember. So you want to at app dot put like this. I want to receive the items and the item ID. So here we want to create def update item. Item ID should be a type of integer, and then the item what you want to update to should be a type of item like this. We want to do an item ID equals to item dot dict. So we want to update everything like that. I want to return the item like this. So let us save this here. And let's say, all right, let me come here to create, let me reload this. So you see that we have the put update item in another column. Let me come here to add, try it out, and then execute this here. Yeah, we have jollof rice in it already. Jollof rice, then let me come here to try out and then get the idea of the jollof rice. The idea of jollof rice. So jollof rice is on 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The idea is on 5 like that. So let me change the price of jollof rice here. So let me come here and change, what am I doing? And change the ID, the one of 5 like this. Then let me change from 50 to 100. Execute this one. Then you see we have jollof rice to be 100 instead of 50 again. Let us come here and let us execute to get the updated jollof rice. Yeah, that is that for that. That works. Let's try to run at app.delete now. Let's try to do it. So you do at app.delete, then the item ID also. I want to receive the item ID as an integer. I want to delete it from there like that. Let's come here to reload. So you see we have delete items like this as red instead of this thing. Let's try it and let's try to delete item of 1. Let's confirm if item 1 is there first. So what's item 1 here? Item 1 is full, FOO. Let me come here, let me execute this here. Details item deleted. Let me come here now to try this, to try to get all my items back. So yeah, you see we have only 3 there. That means it's deleted. And that thing with this our solution is like, no, let's try to get an item ID that doesn't exist. Let's try to get 10. It does not exist. This will throw us an internal server error here. So you see key error 10 like this. So how can we prevent that? We can come here, we can throw errors, we can raise errors, we can run some validations from here. So to run validation of FastAPI, you have to import the HTTP exception like this. So in this particular place here, we want to run get particular items here. You can see If item ID not in items like this, want to raise HTTP exception like this with the status code of 44 and detail should be item not found like that. So we are going to do that severally for everywhere where we needed to get the item ID. We needed it in update item, and there's in delete item here. So now let us come here, let us reload here, and here let us try to read item with 10 that doesn't exist. So obviously it's 4 we have there for a start. Let us execute this. Item not found, the exact same thing we had said should respond here. We have several status code. We have 500, 500 for status for internal server error, 400 for bad request, 404 for not found. You can see the list of all available status codes here. HTTP status codes here. Where's it at? So yep, let me zoom in. So we have 100 for continue. So we have several one of them like this. So 504. So you can just check this out. By the way, the plugin I'm using for this is Gripper. You can just install it to your Chrome. It is only available for Chrome. Yep. So you just come to your extension, manage extensions, and then install it. So you'll be able to get code this thing here. If you don't want to use that, you can just come to this developer.mozilla.org and then you see everything listed out here. So that's that for that, and I think that is that for this particular series. Next one, I'm going to show you how to connect to your database and then use item from your database instead of storing in a dictionary like this. If you had noticed, anytime we make any changes and anytime our server reloads, all our items here reset, no matter even if you have deleted them. So I'm going to show you how to persist data in the next one, and then in the next two ones probably I'm going to show you how we are going to do all this in a more production settings, not this way. We're going to use the repository controller pattern. So anyways, I think that's all for now. Have a nice day. Enjoy yourself. Bye bye. Good night. Good day.